Okay, let me do a little update for you guys. Oh my, you see, it's Sunday, and as you can see, those that follow my stuff, the thing, let me talk a little bit about. I'm leaving LinkedIn because they got me very mad by deleting all of my articles. I had, look, I think maybe 2,000 articles, but so I just am leaving, but I'm leaving with the bang. So, but I want to kind of share something interesting. I posted like that YouTube video a few minutes ago, and that was like a short video, like 3 minutes. So last night, YouTube would not upload that video. And then I said, man, this sure seems like it's taking long. And then I uploaded it on Vimeo, like one of my other sites. And of course, it uploaded, quick, a few minutes. And then I tested, like re-uploading that to YouTube. And then I even made like a 6-second video, which would upload like in less than 6 seconds. They wouldn't upload that either. And I thought, oh, I wonder what's going on with YouTube. But after it published on the other ones I have, then they published it this morning. And all it makes you think about when we talk about, it's not a grand conspiracy, but it is known that there are, some of the big internet sites and all. There is like a lot going on in much larger circles with like certain political narratives. People have seen it like, yeah, sometimes I used to Google maybe a conservative news site just on Google, and the first things that would pop up would be like a liberal site giving a critique of Fox News or whatever. The Fox site would not necessarily pop up at first. And I was listening to talk radio the other day. Of course, most of you know that Rush Limbaugh, and I'm not a big fan of Rush Limbaugh, but I listen to all of the liberal and conservative. And he's kind of promoting the website that he has. I hear him speak about it. And he's supposed to be tech savvy, Rush Limbaugh. So I guess they probably decided he's going to promote it more. I hear him talking about it. And a lady had called in to the Rush Limbaugh show and said when she went to his site, and I believe this probably is true, there's a warning from Google that that site is like spyware, or that site is a dangerous site. And as she was talking to Rush Limbaugh, he did not know. Now, I'm aware that they do that because I used to go to some of the one time I went to check out Breitbart, which is also a conservative site, and they give that warning. And here on our local radio stations here, sometimes I'll notice when, whether it's like Rush Limbaugh or maybe Glenn Beck or whatever, somebody from the local area, this is like 1440 Keys is one of the talk stations, 1360 AM is also one of the stations, and they run like I think they're messing up with those particular broadcasts, conservative broadcasts, because you can hear like commercials all playing during the time that the guys are talking. And it's only, and then I'll check the other station. So what this basically means is, in this whole world that we have of media, there is tremendous manipulation. And believe it or not, the big thing about going on in the country right now has to do with this, because the accusation, of course, is it was through technology that Russia had interfered with the election. And now we're looking at pages or texts from FBI agents, Carter Page and Peter Strzok's. And by the way, when I just was kind of walking out of LinkedIn and sending those things out, I made a comment. It was joking, of course, but I said, plus LinkedIn has been caught up with the Carter Page text, and they didn't post that. But getting back to the point, we are in a time where all of this technology that I'm speaking to you on now, I'm going to upload this in a minute, all of it is, even the so-called text that have been released now, the actual text between these FBI people, they're looking at that. We're looking at a possibility of a taking down of an American president through things going on, meaning they looks like they're shooting to get an indictment on something called obstruction of justice. And it's interesting because anybody that really watches news, there's, obstruction is when you physically delete, you know, blackberries and you beat them with hammers and you go out of your way not just to delete like text, but to destroy the actual physical evidence as well. All of that was kind of shaky. That did take place. And then some of the texts that were released, I'll be honest, do show an obstruction of justice between these FBI people because they said to one another, if we decide to indict Hillary, they were investigating Mrs. Clinton. They said, don't forget she's going to become the president and they might come after us, but maybe they'll blame it more. Look, that's evidence of motivation. And when you look at obstruction of justice, you look at motivation. The questionable thing about President Trump would be, he openly said he felt the whole Russia thing, the Mueller, if he had no collusion, which it looks like he certainly did not have, then his motive wouldn't have been really to hide a crime. His motive would have been what he expressed publicly, that these investigations, he felt, were kind of hindering relationships, including with Russia. So you even have him, in his bad political way, admitting even what his motivations were, because he said them openly. But anyway, I'll do this little one. I'm not sure what we'll be teaching on the Sunday sermon. I'm behind a little bit, and so I'm working on the one from last week that I still have to upload. And so I wanted to just do that update. I'll continue kind of like doing that stuff. But those things, and I actually put a title, LinkedIn is spyware. And I'm not libeling them, but what I'm saying is people protect, computers and all these things. Why? They protect them because they don't want people to get into their accounts. That's password protection. Google even sent me a security notice. Update your security. You are doing it to protect the work that you put in. And so when a company arbitrarily says, well, we couldn't get a hold of you, and so all your work is done. Man, if people are big Fortune 500 companies, there's a lot of businesses that use that service. The policy, you look at the policy. Normally you leave things alone as long as they're acceptable. Meaning if you have text or information or whatever it is, links, as long as it's acceptable, you just leave that alone. It's a service, if you will, like books are. And so we're on our way out. And I don't know, looks like they want Trump to be out too.